So, hello, good morning, everyone. Today is a very special moment for us because whenever you meet any kids when they are in 11th and 12th, you may hear many of times engineering and medical, but the new domain which is actually coming up, people are aspiring, that is called integrated programming management, and that too started by IIMs. So, with me. Anirudh is there, and Anirudh has cracked IPM Rohtak, and now he's heading for 5 years, 3 years, 3 plus 2 years integrated MBA program from IIM Rohtak. So many congratulations, Anirudh. It must be a great feeling from your side. What is your experience, Anirudh?
Yes, thank you, sir. It really is a great experience. I still keep checking my email to see if it is actually real.
Okay. Anirudh, if I ask a quite additional question to you, how did you decide uh, on doing 3 years plus 2 years? So when we say 5 years integrated MBA program from IIMS, where that thought that comes up within your mind and how you process it, how you decided finally, okay, I'll go for this program.
So, sir, back in class 11th when I took my stream commerce with math, so back then I knew that I wanted to go into investment banking, and IPM program is the fastest way towards my goal. So obviously I could have done a 3 year degree from some college, done CAT, and gone to an IIM after that. But now I knew that after class 12 I can begin an IPM. So I decided that yeah, I'll do IPM right after class 12.
Yes, and with me because when we talk about Anirudh, so with me the Kumar Abhishek is there. Kumar Abhishek has been product head for career launcher Greater Noida as well as Noida Success Super IPM program. So we got one person who cleared IPM Rohtak, and I have a very young team who mentor these kids. So Kumar, you have any question to ask to Anirudh?
Yes, sir. So, Anirudh, can you brief me what was your experience with Career Launcher?
So, sir, my experience, I have never studied for a competitive exam before. I've been good at board exams, but competitive exams, frankly, they scared me earlier too. So, Career Launcher really gave me a guide of how to study for IPM exam, because studying for board exam and studying for a competitive exam is completely different. So, I think Career Launcher really helped guide me in that process while I was preparing for IPM.
Super. So, and obviously, when we prepare for IPM, because this is one exam, it is not talked about in the market. Even in the paper, look at I am Indore paper, even I am Rohtak is there, Jipmet is there. So slowly, this area is building up. So indeed, it is important for a mentor for the kids. They actually work together and then understand how the paper is asked because it's more about strategies. Anirudh, can you also let us know because you said the preparing for a board and preparing for a competitive examination are different. How different it is? Like when you look at the IPM Rohtak paper, uh, how you prepare the entire exam, how you figured out your strength area, weak area, how you work on those weak areas, and then come up with a final results in IPM Rohtak.
So, sir, with board exams, you can study from NCRT, and majority of the paper will have the same exact questions from NCRT. So, for example, in math, 90% of questions are from NCRT. So, if you have done NCRT, you'll most probably get full marks in maths or any subject in boards. But with IPM, you have to know the theory, and then questions can be from anything, as it is a competitive exam. So, this is something which I really struggle with at first, because my board exams are like my comfort zone. So, but with IPM, learn doing a variety of questions is more important. So, first I did CL's material and NCRT, and but I focused more on NCRT for a really long time, which is a shortcoming for me. After that, I moved on to some. I only did level of difficulty one questions from Arun Sharma, so I think learning a variety of questions was more important and something that I could have done much earlier than I actually started doing, and being able to as produce that thought process to solve those questions. And coming to strengths and weaknesses, I knew that chapters like functions I was good at, algebra, and mostly even in class 11th and 12th math, I was good at calculus subjects, but they are not asked in IPM that much. So trigonometry, some questions come from trigonometry, but the tough, big proof questions don't come. So for strengths and weaknesses, I knew I was good in English, and so I did that section really well. And LR was also something that came easily to me because with LR, there's only you have to know the funda behind the question, and after that, you can solve majority of the questions. And with math, I didn't do all chapters. I left a few chapters, like I left binomial theorem completely. I didn't do time, speed, and distance because I just couldn't do it. That time bacha nahi tha. And I left a few other chapters, but learning from variety of subject areas was important in cracking IP Math.
All right. So you talk about your strategies. So what will be a piece of advice which will give to all the examinees who will be taking exam in the near future?
So I think a piece of advice would be that I really underestimated how hot it would be at the day of the exam. So IIM Indore exam was before IP Mat Rohtak. So I didn't know that it was going to be so hot. So I was wearing jeans and full sleeves, obviously to protect myself also from COVID. But it was really hot and I couldn't focus. But when I went to give Rohtak, I was just completely calm down, and stress is also a really major factor because I really stressed out in IIM Indore's test, and that's why probably I wasn't able to clear that. But when I went with to give the Rohtak exam, I was completely stress free, and thankfully that was enough to clear the exam. So those two would be the most important strategies that I did.
Okay. And you talked about your board and you talked about IPM. So was there any strategy from your side to studying for both stuff? Have you maintained some any time schedule for this? Have you actually make some strategy? Okay, I will invest X amount of time for my IPM preparation, some amount of time for my school boards. So can you just let us know on that part?
So, sir, for that, I have studied for boards the entire year as soon as class 12 began. And I was studying for boards, and I was done with the syllabus in December of 2020. I still had to revise. So, I was revising for boards, and I also did the career launcher classes and the homework that you all gave, the class sheets. I did those in the initial months, and I also did a little bit of, like I said, Arun Sharma when I was free for IP Mat. But boards preparation was it was going side by side, and I in my thought process I was like, "Ki, after boards I will get enough time to completely just devote to IP Mat." So before boards I was just studying for both at the same time. I studied for IPM since February. So that played out, and boards got cancelled this year. So I got more time to study.
Yes. So many of kids those who stood well, they said they did prepare for board, but the board, the moment the board got cancelled, they got more time to
Hmm.
study for
Yes,
their
sir.
competitive examinations. Uh, Now my question is for both of you, like from the Kumar and Anirudh, because one who actually teaches and one who has studied. Uh, what is the importance of mocks, writing mocks when you prepare for your exams? First, I think we can hear Anirudh and then probably like to hear from Kumar also.
So, sir, I think mocks are really important. I gave around 30 mocks of 30 mocks on career launcher. And other than that, mocks really helped me get a strategy that I will do this. Obviously, in the paper, we were expecting that we will get fixed sections, so first math, and then we won't be able to get back to math. But this was a surprise key. Uh, we could attempt the entire paper at once. So mocks, I had already practiced that scenario in my mock. So problem building scenario was really important, and I was able to practice that during mocks. So I think that's why mocks are important. But studying the chapters is also as equally important as doing mocks.
Okay.
So what I think mocks are really very important. Matlab, sometimes I feel or sometimes students feel that they are very good in a particular chapter, but when it comes to a particular examination, for example, suppose I have a limited time and I have to solve any question, so it feels very difficult to adjust the time allotted to that particular question. For example, I am very much confident in matrices and determinant, but solving a question of matrices, for example, I have to find the inverse of it. So if I'm not given mocks and I think yes, inverse question is very easy, I can solve really easy. So I don't think it's much feasible to go to solve those questions because it will take a lot of time or it will consume a lot of time. So mocks gives us the way to solve the questions or approach to the paper key, which questions are really easy and which questions one should solve in a given examination. So I again and again emphasize to each and every students of mine that mocks are really important. Okay, no matter how much you are studying, but if you're not giving mocks, then it's your practice or your preparations are not 100%.
Super. A last question to Anirudh. Anirudh, when people prepare for management, and obviously the normally management is what people used to do graduation and then write CAT and then they go to the IIMs. This is the one of the opportunities which has actually come up for all of the kids from any stream. So either from humanities side or a commerce or of a PCM side. You had a maths in your 11th and 12th, but do you think the maths is very important? Without maths, will the kids will able to crack this examination?
So, sir, I think affinity for maths is important, but 11th, 12th math per se is not that important because most of the math that we did in school, most of it wasn't asked. Majority of the math, simple math, basic maths, which is called, that comprises a huge portion of the paper. So, just doing that, those many questions is enough for cracking IP math. So, having maths isn't compulsory, but it will definitely help.
So if somebody has math, obviously it's going to help.
Hmm.
But it's also my point of view. If you have done already, you have done maths up to 10th class, and that's what the I will say almost is going to be 90% part of your paper, and the 10% is there. Obviously, that can be learned. Anybody is obviously learning it. So that's way, and it's important because I have seen many of humanity kids. They are afraid of saying, okay, I will go for IPM because I don't have maths. I think neither IPM says it is important to have maths in 11, 12, and nor I should be afraid of it. So that was the point I wanted to really understand. Okay. So any
Uh,
question, Kumar, if you want to
yes,
add
sir.
to?
I one question which is very close to my heart. So Anirudh, what is the role of center or CL Greater Noida in your journey?
So CL Great Noida was really, as I've said, the entire faculty, Abhishek sir, Ramanuj sir, Nehil sir, Amit sir, all they all really helped me, even like clearing my doubts at 8 p.m. In the night. So I think that was a really helpful bonus for me, and it provided a foundation for me to crack IPMAT because with the study material and all it basically gave me a structure to study, which I didn't have while I was preparing on my own. So I think Career Launcher was really important in my Great Noida Center. We too had online classes, so even that was really helpful for me. So it provided a structure for me to study, and thankfully that was enough to crack IPMAT. So CL really played a huge part.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming
Thank you,
and
sir.
spending time with us. And I'll say congratulations to Kumar
Thank you, sir.
mentoring these kids. It is very important being there with them. I also got many of times classes with them and have been interacting and doing. So because IPM, obviously the basic math has to be done, and it has to be done at a good level. So one has to study. Without studying, nothing will happen. So good, and let's see you someday. And if you any point of time you feel during your IPM Rohtak program, you are there for 3 years. If you feel anything we can help anything we can help you out in any way. Uh, just call away, and center is yours. Still, we are the part of the system.
Surely, sir. Surely, sir.
We'll meet someday, and then I'll wish a great luck again. Thank you very much. Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you, sir.
Okay,
Thank you.
sir. Thank you.